in order for you to maintain a lush green garden, you must do this one thing.
Sweet Jamaica, man, I land that. Me no stop love it. I mean, know the world massive love it and them respect it, man. Hear this? A lot of mercy. Help me big up Jamaica, the land of wood and water. The system might not proper, but we love the vibe, the food and the culture.
How do you maintain a garden in drought-like conditions? I am living in the tropics. I've been gardening for years. In these drought-like conditions, I maintain a lush green garden, and I'm about to share tips and tricks with you. So come along with me.
My Jamaican Backyard Garden, Portmore Edition. This is Gardening with Stacey. Come garden with me now, man.
What a nice place to live. Sweet
Alright, so this right here is a bucket of water that I'm going to use to demonstrate to you how I go about watering my plants using a bucket instead of a hose. Alright, so welcome and welcome back to another Gardening with Stacey. Thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate you all and God bless you all. So just before we get into that, I need to get into the number one thing that you must do. And no, this is not an option. Everything else I will say after this will be an option for you, but in order for you to maintain a lush green garden, you must do this one thing, and it is mulching. Yes, it not just suppresses weeds, it helps to retain moisture in the soil, so a lot less evaporation takes place. And while at it, it helps to maintain your soil structure, regulates the soil temperature, and also improves your soil health. Alright, so let's get a little deeper into things. Alright guys, so right here I have in this bag some horse manure in sawdust. So I'll be using this as my mulch. There are several other mulches that you can choose from. I choose manure in sawdust for the past couple of years, and the reason for that is that it gives me a two-in-one. So it's not just mulch to help me to retain moisture in the soil, it is also a slow release fertilizer for my plants. So if you have access to any form of manure in sawdust, I definitely recommend it. It works for me. It will definitely work for you as well. So let me throw this out. So I am just, it's kind of clogged together somewhat. I am just crushing them. What I'm going to do now is just to take some of this and put in my container right here. Now, I am not going to add more than 2 inches of mulch. What you want to do when you're mulching is to make sure that you don't add too much mulch, because if you do that, their soil and your plants will not have the proper airflow that they need to perform to their fullest potential. Alright, so, ooh, ants. Ow! So you may ask, how does the manure becomes a slow release fertilizer? Each time you water, the nutrients is released in the soil. Alright, so I am just going to add some of this like this to here. Oh, let me put on back my gloves, guys. I actually paused the video earlier, so let me just put them on back. Alright, so this is what it looks like for those who are seeing it for the first time. Pieces of the horse manure right here, but it is mainly covered in sawdust, right? Yeah, so I'm just adding a little more, and then I'm going to spread. So you want to make sure that you spread it evenly. right, in your pots or in your raised bed. So this is about 2 inches thereabout. If it don't get to there, it's almost there. If you're not sure, use some sort of measurement. Ensure that you don't over mulch. And one thing to do as well, you can shift it away just a little from your plants. Ensure that they are breathing, or air can circulate, right, properly. So let's get back to watering with the bucket. Now, let me rule out. This can be time consuming, it can be physically demanding, but it is good exercise. Alright guys, so of course, if this is too much of a big bucket for you, then use a smaller one. If it is going to be time consuming for you, what you should do, if you leave home at a certain time, then try to have an earlier start. So if you usually take an hour in the morning, you know, sorting out your garden, then make the sacrifice, at least for the summer. Try to go a little earlier. So put on another hour on it. You understand? Yeah. Really and truly, I don't mind it because it's good exercise for me. It is much easier for me to fill the bucket and just move along because I have several that I use. I just have them fill in and then I'll go and water and then I come and pick up the other one, set the other one to fill again, and then I'll go with another one, you know, and I go back and forth. And it does help me with exercise, no joke. So first of all, I want to point out that you want to water the base of your plants. Alright, so you're trying to water your soil, not your plants. Of course, you can give your plants a little treat now and then in the early morning, wet them up a bit, you know. Yeah, I tend to do that once in a while. But trying to move quickly in the mornings, I just water the base of the plant or the soil. No, you don't want to just come and give a slam dunk like that. No, because when you do that, that is what happened. The soil is splashed all over. The mulch and the soil, everything splashed. So it splash on your plant, it causes disease. You don't want that. And everything just becomes distorted in your container. So you want to keep, you know, keep it level and nice. Alright, if you were to do that, say in a raised bed or in ground, then you know that will cause soil erosion, and you don't want your mulch to be all over the place because you want it to do what it needs to do. So you don't want to leave room for the water to evaporate quickly from your soil. Alright, so what you want to make sure you do is gently pour the water like so. Yeah, and it will soak down. So when you do this, what you do actually is deep watering. All right, and that will help the plants to have deeper roots. And while at it, you are allowing your plants to become drought tolerant. All right, because the mulch right there will retain moisture in the soil. So if you have any questions, if there is anything that I left out, drop them in the comments. Feel free. I don't know everything. If I don't know, I will tell you I don't know. But sometimes I have the information. It doesn't come readily. But if someone makes mention of it, then I was like, oh, I should have said that. So you're not just conserving water this way as opposed to using the hose. You basically control the direction of the water. All right. No, this is not to say that I don't use my hose. I use my hose at times, but most of the times, this is what I do. I prefer to use the bucket. So I've been doing that and it has been working well for me because sometimes I use the hose and because I'm in one place for too long, it's like a shift. I move, I go somewhere else, I move on. And when you really check it, my plants really didn't get enough water. They dried out quicker. Now, the better solution, in my opinion, if you can afford it, is to get a drip irrigation system. If you can get that, then you don't have to worry about all these labor work. Or wondering if your plants are getting enough water or not, or whatever the case may be, because you set your system according to your needs, according to the demands of your plants. All right, So I did mention in my video yesterday about companion planting to help you to maintain a lush and green garden in drought-like conditions or during the summer, because that's what we're in, the summer. So right here I have some corns, and corns are drought tolerant, so of course they will do extremely well in conditions like these. Now right here you're not seeing it, but I'm going to bring you closer. I have some brassicas right here. You know, brassicas, they prefer the cold climate or cooler climates. So right now my corns are shading them. So if you still want to plant your partial shade crops during the summer or in drought-like conditions, you can do that. Companion plant them so they will get some shade from these heat-tolerant plants. All right. So you can see these are broccoli and cauliflower inside here. Also, another thing, you can plant cover crops, especially in your raised beds. You can grow your heat tolerant plants in your raised beds or even in ground. The cover crops will act as mulch just the same. All right, so you have different types of cover crops like wheat or beans and peas or clover, you name it. You can do a little research and see. There are so many cover crops to choose from. You can choose some also that will help you with nitrogen in your soil. All right, so if there are any further questions, feel free to drop them in the comments. These tricks and tips, they have been working for me, and I'm delighted to share them with you. All right, so this is where I leave you for today. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, walk good.
Come garden with me now, man.
And what a nice place to live. Sweet jam.